Hey, what's up guys? We're back with another leak detection here in Palm Beach Gardens. This is a call I got just this morning. This homeowner mentioned to me that they have a pool. They just moved in. They bought this house about a month ago. The previous owner had an autofill in the pool, and they seem to think that something's not right. They mentioned that it's going down about 3 inches a week, or if they fill it up halfway up the tile, it's going down just below the skimmer in about a week. So they seem to think there's something that's not right. So we're here, we're gonna check it out, see what we find. Let's get started. Start this video by explaining one really simple concept. One of the most important things before you ever start any leak detection is that the water, it has to be crystal clear. If it's cloudy, murky, full of algae, obviously we're not going to be able to dive into it for a couple of reasons. One, if it's full of algae and it's just green in a swamp, safety concern, right? Second, if it's just murky, say there's a lot of chemicals in there, it might not be a safety hazard, but just from a visibility perspective, if you dive in some cloudy water, you might get down to the deep end, and especially once it all gets stirred up, you could have your hand right in front of your face, but you're not going to be able to see. So the water has to be clear, but then most importantly, the pool has to be full, at least halfway up, typically halfway up the tile. So it's normal operating level, but the pool has to be full. If it's not full to its normal level, that can cause us issues because maybe there's a structural leak or damage that's above the water level at that point, or there's not enough water weight where it's going to register on our equipment. So those are two things that are very important for every leak detection appointment. With this job, it's a pool and spa combo. So the water level is pretty good, but if we needed to raise it on this one, we could obviously just drain the water from the spa into the pool, and that would help it get a little higher. So let's get started. We'll pull out our hydrophone, we'll give everything a listen, we'll dive test, pressure test, scuba dive it, see what we find. So with the hydrophone, guys, you're gonna learn that there's all kinds of noises and hisses and screeches that you're going to be able to start picking up when a pool is leaking. So the biggest skill you're going to develop with your hydrophone is developing that knowledge bank of all the different types of noise a pool is going to make, whether it's a concrete pool, a fiberglass pool, a vinyl liner pool, and the reason that it's leaking, if it's a plumbing break or a structural crack in the spa, a leak in the light conduit. All those things can produce different types of noise. So that knowledge bank is going to be the most important thing you develop. But also too, the skill of knowing what nothing sounds like. So when you're listening to a concrete pool like this, say you don't hear anything, but you've got equipment running over there, you've got trees that are wrestling, there's equipment, there's wind, all that stuff can make it really difficult to listen with your hydrophone as well. But even in perfect conditions, just listening what it sounds like when there's nothing there, and then as soon as you hear something that doesn't sound right, you hear an abnormal noise, you're just like, all right, I can hear there's something by the drain. So just getting experience, time and experience doing more jobs with your hydrophone, this can be one of the most important things you can do. All right guys, so it sounds like we've got something going on with the skimmer right here. All around the spa so far, and listening to the main drain. Along this side of the pool, there's a return line jet right over there. Don't hear much noise at all, but as soon as you start to get within a couple of feet of the skimmer, and then especially once you put your microphone in front of the skimmer throat, and then put your microphone inside the skimmer housing, you hear a bunch of noise that really resembles like just water running down plastic. It sounds like water's hitting plastic. So it sounds like we've got something going on with the skimmer. I don't know if it's structural or a plumbing break or what yet. But we'll, after we finish listening, we'll get our dye. We'll take a look at the skimmer and see if we can find something. Alright guys, so we just got done listening with our hydrophone. No abnormal noise around the rest of the pool except when we got to this side of the pool and, like I said, near that skimmer. So let's go ahead and grab our dive pin. We'll take a look at that skimmer, see if we can figure out what's going on. Alright guys, so after taking a look at the skimmer for a few minutes, I can see what looks like the problem. This is something I mentioned on the channel before, but this customer is going to have what's called a leak in their skimmer throat. So I'll show you in just a second, but where the tile, this tile opening going into your skimmer housing is within your pool, if you were to look underneath this brick coping, what you would see is a joint where the pool structure butts up with the plastic housing of the skimmer. That's called a coal joint, and it's filled with hydraulic cement when the pool gets built. But over time, that hydraulic cement just erodes or degrades, and eventually it wears away to where the pool's gonna leak between the structure, the water's gonna leak between the structure of the pool and the plastic housing of the skimmer. So I'll go ahead and grab this GoPro and I'll show you what that looks like. All right guys, so hopefully you were able to see that leak in the skimmer throat okay. So let's go ahead and we're gonna dye test the rest of the pool and spa. I'm gonna go handheld for this, but we'll go over a couple of the basics when we're dye testing. We'll show you what we're looking for. And just so you guys can see, this is the dye pin that we use. If you find it on Amazon, it's a 20 milliliter syringe or dye testing pin. Then I don't remember the gauge of the needle. I'll find it and we'll post it in the description. But the most important part, I believe, is that this tip is a special type of tip. I believe it's called a lure lock system, but I'll double check that. We'll get this posted in the description for you guys, so if y'all are looking for some good quality dye testing pins, you'll see exactly what I'm using. So let's go ahead and get started with the dye test. So with this, guys, when you're dye testing, you really want the pool and spa, you want the water current to be as still as possible. So you really don't want to get in the pool at all. You want it to be turned off. You want the pump to not be running for several minutes before you start dye testing. You know, on windy days, sometimes it makes it a little more difficult because the water's going to be moving, but you really want all this to be as still as possible. Even when you're diving in the pool and dye testing around different drains or the light, just try to keep your body movement as little as possible. Then just a core principle, I'm not going to teach too much, but just a core principle of dye testing is typically you don't want to give a giant blast of dye like that. It's going to make it very difficult to tell what you're looking at. So when you're dye testing in front of a plumbing line like this one, you just want to let a little bit of dye go. And I can tell this pool's moving back and forth. I'm going to put the camera underwater so you can see what this looks like. Alright guys, so we're all done with dye testing. Hopefully you got a couple tips that you'll be able to use yourself in the future. Now that we've listened with the hydrophone, we've dye tested, we've identified a leak in the skimmer throat. I just got done talking to the homeowner. They have plans to renovate the pool and resurface the pool next year. So right now they just want to put some pool putty on it. I explained to them that pool putty is more along the lines of just a band-aid, but if there's something that we can try to do to slow it down, we'll put it on there. That's what they want us to do. And for now, that is what they want. So before I leave, I'll get some putty on there for them. Typically, we recommend more professional repairs, but we will throw it on there for you. So now we're going to move on to pressure testing. When you have a pool and spa combo, I love to just drain the spa into the pool. It's much easier to take covers off, plug plumbing lines up when the spa is empty. It saves you a little bit of time, so we'll go ahead and get started with that now. And just for anybody who doesn't know or would like to learn how to drain their spa, we've got our spa main drain line open right now. So typically with your normal pool operation, this is going to remain shut. But when you're draining a spa, you want to open your spa drain line, which we've done here. We've opened this line, we've closed the pool drain and our skimmers. So those are now shut off. Then what you want to do on the return side is you want to close your spa return line so there's no water getting sent back into the spa. So we're sucking water out of the spa with the spa drain, and we're sending that water back into the pool, and that's going to cause your spa to go empty. And so while the spa is going down, I'm gonna try to save some time. I'm gonna go grab my pressure testing box, my water hose, everything I need to pressure test these lines, scuba dive the pool, and by the time I get that done, the spa is empty and we'll keep going. Alright guys, so as you can see, if you can get the spa drain empty, it's going to make this just a lot easier, a lot faster. You're not fighting the water, you're not floating to the top, you're not struggling to see, you're not soaking wet. So what we're going to do now is just pop out all these eyeballs. I'm going to get these covers undone. I'm going to get everything plugged up, and then I'll see you at the pool. And if y'all are just getting started in leak detection, you've got to get yourself these inflatable pressure testing plugs from Anderson Manufacturing. They are a lifesaver, I promise. Alright guys, well, it might have actually just lied. I realized that I'm going to plug up their main drain first, and then I'm going to check the light, and then I'll see you at the equipment. Alright guys, well, here we are at the equipment. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plumbing lines that we've got to pressure test. So I'm going to get started with that. If I think of anything useful I can tell you guys while I'm working, I'll let you know. Alright guys, so we got our skimmer built up at 15 psi. We're going to give that a minute on the clock. Make sure that plumbing line's good, and then we'll move on. But right off the rip, one thing I can tell you is if you're new to pools, or if you're new to leak detection and you haven't worked with a customer's equipment much before, a couple things to keep in mind. One thing that's really important is making sure you remember how all their valves are set. Because if you have a skimmer that's set the wrong way, or a spa drain that's set the wrong way, a return line that's closed when it should be open, you can burn up a pump really fast and cause some major problems with your homeowner or service company or whoever you're working with. And so just to prevent that headache, it's really good practice as you walk up on the equipment. Take a look at how the valves are already set. If you need to, grab your phone, take a picture of the suction lines, take a picture of the return lines. That way when you're ready to leave, you know exactly how all these valves were positioned. You can put them back exactly as they were. Get the pump running, make sure it primes, make sure it's running well, and then you're good to go. Alright guys, so we're all done pressure testing. We were able to successfully pressure test every line but one. The only line we were not able to pressure test was the spa drain line. And the reason that is because one cover, we were able to get our pressure testing plug in the PVC plumbing line, no problem. But underneath the second cover, when I removed that cover and looked into the PVC line, it was for some reason full of rock and pebble and debris and dirt, and there would have been no way for me to get my pressure testing plug into that PVC line. Even trying to flush the line out and get that debris out, it was still just so jam-packed for whatever reason that there was no way to get a pressure testing plug in there. So I'll let the customer know about that. That's the only line we're not able to pressure test, but every other line checked out just fine. So I'm gonna grab the camera, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna fill the spa back up again, and then we'll check out the structure, examine it, make sure there's no cracks or structural damage in the pool. That's gonna be a wrap. Alright guys, so just recapping, we've got the spa empty right now while we pressure test it, but just to recap how we're gonna get that spa filled back up. So normal operation, we got spa main drain. This is gonna be closed. So this label here, it says off. So that line is turned off. And under normal operation, that's always gonna be set to off. Here we've got pool drain, skimmer, and then this over here is a cleaner line that's capped. So this one's off. We got skimmer open, pool drain open. So with the suction lines, what we're doing to fill up the spa is we're sucking water from the pool to the pump. Then on the return side, we've got a pull return, pull return, pull return, spa return. So to be able to fill up the spa, what we would have to do is close a return like we have here. Unfortunately, these two are looped together and you can see there's no valve here. So there's no way for me to shut off this pull return line. So that is what it is. There's gonna be some water that's going into the pool while we're filling up the spa. But in here, what we're gonna wanna do is turn this valve, if I can get the lid. Well, it looks like the lid's gonna be stuck, so I'll have to get that set. But what we would do then is we would turn this valve from this position 360 all the way to where we're closing off this pull return, so that we're only sending water through the spa return line. You can also do it just like this. All we would have to do right now is turn on the pump and it would start sending water through both the returns and also the spa return line. So it will start filling up the spa just fine like this. It would just be faster if I could turn off the pool return lines and send all the water straight to the spa. All right guys, and before you start filling up the spa again, just go ahead and start putting all your covers back in place. Take all of your pressure testing plugs out, put the eyeballs back in. Just go ahead and get all that stuff done, dive in, get the covers back on the main drain. That's what I've gone ahead and just gotten accomplished. So what I'll do now is I'll turn the pump on. The spa's gonna start filling up. And all we've got left is to examine the structure. I'm gonna put some putty in that skimmer throat, and that's gonna be a wrap. All right guys, so that's gonna be it. This is gonna be the last shot for the video. I was gonna get the recap by the pool back there, but their next door neighbor started blasting some crazy music, so we'll do it out here by the truck. All in all, a good job, a good appointment, just like we always do. We hydrophone listened, dye tested, pressure tested, and visually examined the pool and their light. A couple of issues, or at least one issue that I ran into that didn't get recorded, is while I was pressure testing, we were able to get all the lines tested except for one, which is a spa drain. So the spa has two drain lines in the bottom of it that connect together. One PVC line I was able to plug up no problem, but then the second one, when I took the cover off, I just found a whole bunch of dirt and rocks and debris and all that inside the pipe, and there was no way for me to get any kind of pressure testing plug into that line. So the spa drain line was the only one that was not able to be tested, and I of course have let the customer know about that. But everything else checked out fine. We didn't see any other kind of structural damage. Like I mentioned earlier, this customer asked for me to put some pool putty on it for now. They are going to resurface the pool next year, so they're hoping that can at least just slow it down until they resurface the pool. But that's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found it useful, learned something new. If you did enjoy this video, do me a big favor, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this in the future and learn more about swimming pool leak detection, smash the subscribe button. That goes a long way to help me. Like I said in my last video, I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and hopefully we'll get there as fast as possible. But that's it for this video. One last note is, if you're a pool company, a pool owner, a service company, any kind of contractor in Palm Beach County, Martin County, St. Lucie County, and even the northern part of Broward County, I'm officially here in Palm Beach County. I moved to Jupiter at the beginning of November. I'm finally starting to do some leak detection jobs around the area. So if you find yourself needing leak detection help, services, even real estate agents, if you need a pool inspection or have a pool examined before you close on a house, I can do that for you. So all my contacts in my description. You can check out my website. It's all there as well. But thank you guys for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.